Greetings ladies and gentlemen, sorry for the late upload, and I did this run a couple of days ago but only recently came around to work on this video. So let me talk about my setup before I continue any further, and for this run I ran a level 77 Wither Skeleton pet with a Crochet Tiger plushie that I bought for 4.2 mil on the auction house. A Juju bow that is 3 star with power 5 and no ultimate enchant and without overload, because I was only enchanting level 20 when I did this run. Full 4-star Epic Skeleton Master Reforged to Fierce and a couple of pieces on Pure for max damage, along with an AoTE with Altwise tree that I could use to move around the map. I'm sure a lot of you guys will be wondering how I'm able to use the Juju short bow, be able to have Enderman Slayer tree, and the Catacombs requirements to use it. So I'll answer those 3 questions but based on how easy it is to answer. As for how I'm able to use it without meeting the Catacombs requirements of 15, short answer, this is Hypixel Skyblock. Something is always broken, one way or the other. Long answer, Hypixel messed up and made it so that every weapon with an armor of Kata requirements have no requirements. However, this does not include weapons and armors that have a specific floor requirement. Weapons such as the Spirit Scepter, Livid Dagger, Shadow Fury, and any variant of the Necron Blade will still require completion on floor 4, 5, 6, and 7 respectively. The same applies to armor sets such as Shadow Assassin, Necromancer Lord, and any variant of the Wither armor. They will all still require completion of floor 5, 6, and 7 respectively to be able to use. Weirdly enough, this does not apply to the Flower of Truth, as it is a floor 6 item that drops from the golems and not the chest. So basically, any weapon that drops from dungeon chests, you need to have a completion on that specific floor to be able to use. Otherwise, weapons and armor sets that have a Catacombs requirement but no specific floor completion requirement is available to every player of any Catacombs level, which even includes players that just started with the Catacombs. Examples of weapons would be the Aspect of the Dragon, Midas Sword, Yeti Sword, Midas Staff. Examples of armors would be the Dragon Armor, Frozen Blaze, Perfect Armor, Zombie Heart, Revived Heart, Reaper Mask, and you get the point. As for how I'm able to get Enderman Slayer tree, I spent 2 to 3 hours grinding tier 1 Enderman. I used my full unstable Dragon Armor with my decently enchanted Flower of Truth and a God Potion to kill tier 1 Enderman. I did however attempt to kill a tier 2 Enderman with full unstable Flower of Truth and an inventory full of Remnants of the Eyes, which revives you if you die in the end. But I ended up dying at the end, wasting 1.3 mil worth of Remnants that I bought for 60k per at the auction house. Yeah, that wasn't my best idea financially, especially not as an early game player. As for how I was able to grind the materials for the bow, I did not grind the materials. I simply grinded 22 mil coins and bought it off of the auction house. It was a really good deal. The bow I bought was a 2-star Juju short bow with enchants and HPBs. At 1 mil higher than the lowest bin, I think, or it was even the lowest bin. And I'm sure some of you will be interested in knowing my money making method. So for those of you interested, I grinded automatons. Automatons are basically iron golems which spawn in Precursor City. Precursor City is in the Crystal Hallows, and Crystal Hallows is the place where you unlocked after you achieve Heart of the Mountains tree. If you still do not know what that is, I would recommend looking up a guide on this. There are countless of guides out there. So basically, these automatons have a chance to drop 1 item out of 6 different possibilities. Each item ranges anywhere between 100k to 600 plus k. You may think this amount isn't a lot, but trust me, they drop pretty regularly. At least for my case. If you're wondering how much they make, for me they range anywhere between 3 mil to over 6-7 mil per hour, averaging between 3 and 6 mil. I once got super lucky and got 3 or 4 Robotron reflectors, which is the most expensive drop that's worth 600k, in under 5 minutes of grinding. My luck is just absurd. All of the grinding for coins were done on stream. I would like to mention again that I am never ever online unless I am streaming, so if you see me online at Hypixel Skyblock, you can bet that I am definitely streaming on YouTube. An easy way to check if I'm online is just to do /message agent lie. My messages are open to everyone and I do not ignore ad people. If you are on my ignore list, you've definitely done something horribly wrong. Also, I have friend requests turned on. If you send me a friend request when I'm online, I will automatically accept your friend request because of the Hypixel chat triggers module. And if you can't send me a friend request, it'll mean that either I have 5,000 friends, which is the cap, or I am not online. Oh, while I'm here, let me address some commonly asked questions that I get on stream. A couple of the more frequently asked questions that pop up in my stream chat is how do I already have a Juju short bow, which I've already answered. So another question is, why am I only doing solo runs? The reason as to why I'm only doing solo runs is because I find doing this solo much more fun than doing this with Party Finder and randoms. I find dungeons fun if I do it solo, or if I play with people that I play with regularly in a voice call. Well, the people that I play with regularly have mostly quit, apart from a few. And if I were to play dungeons with the remaining few on this current profile with skill average 14, kata 7, my current armor set and weapons, some people will say that I got carried by higher kata players because I'm a YouTuber, which is true to a certain extent. And I'll be honest, I don't like being called a YouTuber that got carried, even though I used to be a dungeon sweat. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing solo runs and only solo runs. You could say that I can just play with players around my kata level. Most people around my kata level, which is 7 when I did this run, and 14 when I actually started working on a video, might fail puzzles, die often, and lose the S or S+, and I'll get frustrated at them, and I find getting frustrated myself for being bad better than being frustrated at some random person who might only play this game for an hour or so a day, who only plays casually and only wants to have fun. Now, the main reason why I'm doing solo runs is because I'm using these solo runs to hone my craft. I am extremely rusty, as you can tell from my speed clearing the dungeon run, so I'm using these solo runs to push myself to get back to speed. One other reason is because I need to be very smart about my positioning and every action that I take, because I'm no longer endgame. I can no longer teleport into a room and have all the mobs around me magically disappear whilst not taking any damage. I am very squishy, and trash mobs can output a lot of damage and can potentially kill me if I'm not being careful. While I'm talking about trash mobs killing me really fast, can I just mention how stupid Crypt Lurkers, Dreadlords, Skeletors, and Shadow Assassins are? Especially Skeletors and Shadow Assassins. They are the bane of my existence. I really hate those things. Anyways, I truly think that only by constantly pushing my limits, pushing the boundaries of what can be done, can I truly strive to become a better self. Yes, I know that last line was pretty cheesy, but hey, I'm known for being cheesy at my dad jokes. Anyways, with that being said, I think that if I went with a team and relied on others, I won't be able to improve as fast as I am right now doing solo runs. I'm hoping that after thousands of solo runs, once I start playing with actual teams, I won't be as big of a burden as I would be if I hadn't trained myself. And yes, I know you can make the argument that only doing solo runs won't train my communication skills and team play. Well, what I think is that should come rather naturally. Team play is very important, and I cannot stress enough how important team play is when you're playing with a team. But I'm taking it a step at a time by first focusing on myself. I want to be lightning fast when it comes to secrets and room clears. Once I've trained that, I'll work on team play and coordination with teammates. While I'm on the topic of team play, I may no longer be as good as I used to be, but I think that even an old dog can teach a thing or two to the newer gens. So let me talk a little bit about that, I guess. Team play is especially important when doing normal runs to ensure maximum speed. Communication is important and all, but it is not as important as coordinating with your teammates. An example of good team coordination is when all 5 members have their own jobs and are doing their jobs properly. Simple things like not clearing a side of the map as someone else speeds the whole run up by a lot, assuming everyone knows how to clear and get secrets really quickly. If you see someone else clearing a side of the map, do not go there, unless that side is the last side that needs clearing, or if there are far too many rooms for that one player to handle, or you've calculated that it is far more efficient to clear together. However, I would also like to mention that there are situations where 2 players clearing the same room will be more efficient. But most of the time when it comes to secrets that take far too long, it just gets skipped. So for the most part, if you're not in a dedicated team with voice comms and perfect team play, just don't go to the same room as another teammate unless it's the last few rooms or it's the best choice. You will know when it is the best choice to go to a side someone else is clearing with game sense. Also, just a reminder, this only really applies to room clearing. This does not apply to blood rushing. Blood rushing is another story. Well, I do not know what the current best method is for blood rushing, but 10 months ago, the best method would be to send 2 players to rush blood together, or even 1, and have the blood camper clear the secrets in the room before blood, then camp blood because blood takes 15 seconds before the first wave starts spawning, so with that 15 seconds time span, the blood camper would normally clear the room before blood. Whereas the second player that rushed along with the blood camper clear all the rooms on the way to blood, except for the room before blood. Back then, in a team with voice comms, if the room before blood is a room that's very easy to get the blood key, but slightly harder for secrets, a good example would be Rails, which is the 2x2 room with 9 secrets and a mini boss. Well, this does not only apply to Rails and can apply to many other rooms, such as Super Tall, which is a 2x2 6 secret room with a mini boss, and so on and so forth. You get the point. You will know what room this technique applies to with more experience. The blood camper would immediately start clearing secrets as soon as they enter the room, and the second player would go for the blood key and open blood door. What this ensures is that the blood camper will be given extra time to work on secrets, rather than having to worry about the first wave of mobs spawning and going back to blood and camp it. Oh, and for the newer players starting dungeons, just in case you're wondering why people camp blood because if you kill the mobs as it spawns, it'll reduce the total time to watch it takes to spawn new waves of mobs. And you can enter the boss room faster, and that basically makes it so that you can have faster runs if you're in a team that can clear the entire map as soon as blood is done. Of course, if you're in a team that isn't as fast and are more inexperienced, don't worry about blood camping, as it isn't going to be needed until you're in a team that can clear enough secrets to ensure S or S+ by the time the blood camper is done with blood room. A good blood rusher and camper can make or break world record runs. Of course, blood camping and rushing has slight RNG in it, with how many rooms it takes before you get your blood and whether or not you can get the key, but we will leave that talk for another time. For now, let's go back to the premise of why the blood camper should immediately start working on secrets as soon as they enter a room before blood, assuming that room is a room that is easy to obtain the blood key in, but hard to clear secrets. Also, this only works if you're rushing with 2 players and have voice comms, or you guys can communicate with each other beforehand. Well, this is rather specific and you might not have this happen, but it is still good to keep this in the back of your mind if you do end up needing this. Again, I am not sure if the current meta is still double blood rushers or single rusher or 3 or more rushers. And please take what I say with a grain of salt, because I haven't played dungeons with an actual team in the past 10 months, so what I say could be completely wrong. If I am, please correct me in the comment section down below and I will pin your message. I do not like giving out false information, so in the event that I do, I want you to clear it up immediately. If I try to teach anyone anything in these videos, always make sure to check the pinned comment to make sure I did not give any incorrect information. In any event that what I said in the video is wrong or simply has a better alternative, I will make a comment and pin it with the correct information or the better alternative. Anyway, with that disclaimer out of the way, assume 2 scenarios. Scenario 1, where the blood camper and the second player enter rails and both of them rush to the mini-boss and kill the mini-boss. And then both of them proceed to open blood together, and after blood is open, the blood camper starts doing secrets, then goes back to camping blood. And in the second scenario, as soon as they enter the room before blood, which for this example we will use rails, the blood camper starts clearing secrets and the second player goes to the mini-boss, kills it, and opens blood door. In scenario 1, the blood camper will only have 15 seconds to work with, whereas in scenario 2, the blood camper will have 15 seconds to work with and an extra couple of seconds because the blood camper started secrets as soon as they entered rails. With fast route for rails, in that time you should be able to secure at least 7 out of the 9 secrets. It is fine to skip 1 or 2 secrets because you don't need every single secret for S+, if nobody dies and you get Crips or the Mimic. In scenario 1, the camper could get enough secrets fast enough, but probably won't make it back in time before the first wave has already spawned. You may be wondering, why is it so important for the camper to be back in blood by the 15-second mark and start killing the first wave immediately? For most teams, it isn't. This only really applies to the super sweaty teams that can clear extremely fast. If you're not in one of those teams, then it is not as important. The reason why I'm talking about this is because I would like to assume that at least one of you watching this video will eventually make it to the point where you are so sweaty that this actually becomes important. Explanation for why this is so important for those sweaty teams is because sometimes every single player in those teams is done with secrets and are only waiting up on blood room. Normally in those teams, as soon as blood room is done, they can enter the boss room, they immediately enter the boss room. And in those teams, any time wasted on making blood faster is time loss. And time loss is time loss regardless of how insignificant it may be. And like I said, this was the old meta, and it may not be currently used by anyone at all, simply because there might be better alternatives. But that was one of the blood rushing methods from 10 months ago. Anyway, the run is coming to an end, so I'll talk about what my plans are for this profile. And my goal for this first month is to get a full set of Necron armor and a Hyperion. Yes, you heard that right. And I know that sounds super ambitious, and even super ambitious might be an understatement, and to be honest, I don't think I can actually meet my goals, at least not in the first month of this profile. But that's my goal. Do I think I can meet my goals? I'll be honest, probably not. So far, a week into this profile, and I have a 90 mil net worth, which could be higher if I just played more and grinded coins more, but so far I'm doing okay, and I don't think I'll need to push it that much unless it needs to. Anyways, thanks for watching this video, and I'll hopefully see you in the next video. Peace out.